Hello, book lovers, and welcome back to another episode of From the Book Nook. I'm Crystal.
And I'm Mark. We're so glad to have you back with us. Today we're talking about a novel that's been getting a lot of love lately. Ann Napolitano's Hello, Beautiful. Crystal, I've got to say, this book really hit me right in the feels.
Same here, Mark. It's one of those novels that sneaks up on you. You start reading, thinking it's going to be a straightforward family story, but then it quietly unfolds into something so much deeper. It's a novel about love, loss, forgiveness, and what it means to truly belong.
Exactly. So for those who haven't read it yet, don't worry, we'll avoid any major spoilers. Let's start with the setup. The story begins with William Waters. He's this incredibly quiet, lonely kid who grows up in a house where love is practically non-existent.
And it's heartbreaking. William's parents are emotionally absent because of a tragedy that happened before he was born and that really shapes who he is. He grows up feeling invisible, like he doesn't deserve love or attention.
But everything changes when he meets Julia Padavano in college. Now, Julia is the complete opposite of William. She's confident, ambitious, and driven. She knows what she wants in life and goes after it. And when she brings William into her world, he's introduced to the Padavano family, a house filled with life, laughter, and 4 very different sisters.
Yes. Let's talk about the Padavano sisters. They're the heart and soul of this novel. Julia, Sylvie, Cecilia, and Emmeline, 4 women, each with their own strengths, dreams, and struggles. I couldn't help but compare them to the March sisters from Little Women.
Oh, me too. It's like Napolitano took that classic sibling dynamic and gave it a fresh, modern twist. Julia's the leader. She's all about plans and order. Sylvie is the romantic dreamer, always lost in a book, which I think a lot of our listeners will relate to.
I definitely did. Then there's Cecilia, the free-spirited artist, and Emmeline, the quiet caretaker who holds everyone together. Together, the sisters create this beautiful, chaotic world that William is drawn into.
It's almost like the Padavano house is a character itself. It's warm, vibrant, filled with loud conversations, cooking, and constant movement. William, who comes from such a cold and empty home, is completely overwhelmed, but also enchanted by it.
Absolutely, it's a refuge for him, but at the same time, it's also a fragile world. What makes the novel so powerful is how Napolitano shows that love and connection are never perfect. Even families that love each other deeply have cracks and fissures.
Right. And that's where the real tension starts. William's struggles with depression, combined with the pressure of Julia's high expectations, begin to unravel everything. The Padavano sisters, who seem unbreakable at first, are tested in ways they never expected.
Yes, and I think that's what makes this book so honest. It doesn't shy away from the messy realities of mental health, family loyalty, and how love can sometimes feel like a burden as much as a gift.
Exactly. There's this moment, and I won't give it away, where one choice sets off a chain of events that changes everyone's lives. It's devastating, but also so real because sometimes the people we love the most can hurt us the deepest.
And yet, the story is also about healing. What I loved about Napolitano's writing is that she doesn't let her characters stay broken. They grow, they evolve, and they learn to forgive, not just each other, but also themselves.
That's a great point, Crystal. It's also about what family really means. Is it the people you're born to? Or the people who show up for you, day after day, even when it's hard?
Yes, and that's something readers will really connect with. Life is messy, love is complicated, but there's beauty in the struggle. Hello, Beautiful reminds us that we can find hope, even in the darkest moments.
You're so right. I also want to mention the writing itself. Napolitano's prose is so elegant and luminous. She captures the smallest moments, like 2 sisters sharing a glance, or the quiet ache of loneliness, and makes them feel monumental.
I agree. There's a rhythm to her writing that feels almost poetic, and yet the story feels so grounded. It's timeless but deeply personal, which is what makes it such a universal read.
So if you're a fan of family sagas, beautifully drawn characters, and stories that make you feel everything, Hello Beautiful is a must-read.
It really is. And if you've already read the book, we'd love to hear what you thought. Which sister did you relate to the most, or what parts of the story stuck with you?
Before we wrap up, Crystal, let's share our Nook notes for today.
Sure thing. This week's Nook note is, even in brokenness, love can endure, and sometimes that's enough to start over.
That's beautiful, Crystal, and so fitting for this story.
Thanks, Mark, and thank you to all of you for joining us today. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with your fellow book lovers.
We'll see you next time in
The Book Nook.